Most men don't lose women because they say the wrong thing. They lose women because they misunderstand silence. A woman rarely comes out and says, "Please reach out to me," not because she doesn't want you to, but because her psychology is wired around being chosen. When a woman feels she has to chase, explain herself, or expose her emotions first, attraction weakens. So instead of words, she communicates through behavior, quiet behavior, subtle behavior, low risk behavior. And if you don't understand how women express interest indirectly, you'll assume she's moved on and walk away while she's still emotionally waiting. This isn't surface level dating advice. This is a deeper look into female psychology, emotional safety, and why silence is often a test rather than a rejection. Sometimes silence means let go, but sometimes silence means lead. When a woman wants you to reach out, the first thing she does is avoid disappearing completely. Disappearing is emotional closure. Staying visible means unfinished business. She may quietly remain present in your world. She watches what you post. She reacts just enough to stay noticed. She doesn't cut the cord, even if communication stops. This isn't accidental. Psychologically, this is low investment signaling. She wants to stay connected without risking rejection. Reaching out directly would place her emotions on the line, and that vulnerability feels unsafe unless she's confident you'll respond. Women are generally more sensitive to rejection than men, not because they're weak, but because social rejection has historically carried heavier emotional consequences for them. So instead of direct pursuit, she creates familiarity. She lets you feel her presence without forcing herself into your inbox. If she were truly done, she would vanish. She would mute you, block you, and emotionally detach. But when she stays nearby without engaging directly, she's watching. She's paying attention to whether you still notice her, whether you still care, and whether you'll take initiative without being pushed. Most men don't lose women because they say the wrong thing. They lose women because they misunderstand silence. A woman rarely comes out and says, "Please reach out to me," not because she doesn't want you to, but because her psychology is wired around being chosen. When a woman feels she has to chase, explain herself, or expose her emotions first, attraction weakens. So instead of words, she communicates through behavior, quiet behavior, subtle behavior, low risk behavior. And if you don't understand how women express interest indirectly, you'll assume she's moved on and walk away, while she's still emotionally waiting. This isn't surface level dating advice. This is a deeper look into female psychology, emotional safety, and why silence is often a test rather than a rejection. Sometimes silence means let go, but sometimes silence means lead. When a woman wants you to reach out, her online behavior often shifts. Her posts become more intentional, more emotionally expressive, more familiar. She may start posting photos where she looks more confident, more attractive, more like the version of herself you were drawn to. She may share quotes, songs, or messages about love, healing, patience, or timing. Women often process emotion externally. They project what they feel, hoping the right person will recognize it. She's not speaking to the crowd. She's speaking to the one person she hopes is paying attention. Timing matters too. Late night posts, content shared right after you post, music you once bonded over, locations that carry shared meaning. These aren't random choices. They're emotional anchors designed to trigger memory and connection. This phase doesn't last forever. It's a window, and many men miss it because they tell themselves it's probably not about them. But if it resonates emotionally, it usually is. When a woman brings up old memories, she isn't being nostalgic for no reason. She's testing emotional access. She may casually mention a shared moment, a song, a place, or an inside joke. On the surface, it may seem light, but psychologically, it holds meaning. Women don't reopen emotional chapters they've fully closed. By bringing up the past, she's checking whether the emotional bond is still alive. She's seeing if it's safe to feel again, if you've changed, and if reconnecting would be different this time. Many men make the mistake of responding logically instead of emotionally. They downplay it, brush it off, or keep it surface level. That shuts the door. She isn't looking for nostalgia. She's looking for resonance. She wants to feel that the memory matters to you too. Attraction needs presence. And when a woman wants you to reach out, she often reduces distance. You may notice her appearing in places connected to you, both online and offline. This isn't a coincidence, it's proximity psychology. She's creating opportunity without forcing interaction. Women avoid men they're emotionally finished with. They don't place themselves near them. When she shows up, she's curious. She's giving you the chance to lead. Her question isn't spoken, but it's clear. If I make this easy, will he step forward? One of the most misunderstood signs is indirect engagement. She remains aware of you without needing to reach out. She watches. She reacts lightly. She stays connected through shared spaces and mutual connections. This behavior is rooted in emotional safety. Direct communication opens the door to direct rejection. Indirect engagement lets her remain connected while protecting her pride. To her, these signals are loaded with meaning. To many men, they're invisible. Masculine awareness isn't about chasing signs, it's about recognizing patterns. A woman who has emotionally moved on looks very different from one who hasn't. When she hasn't let go, there's hesitation. She may appear fine on the surface, but she doesn't fully invest elsewhere. She delays emotional replacement. She keeps one foot in the past. This delay isn't a weakness, it's selective attachment. She hasn't found someone who replaces what she felt with you. But this pause doesn't last forever. Eventually, if nothing happens, she forces closure for her own emotional protection. When a woman wants you to reach out, she rarely slams the door shut. She doesn't erase you. She doesn't block you. She doesn't make reconnection impossible. Even her language reflects hesitation rather than rejection. She may say she needs time, that the moment isn't right, or that maybe someday things could be different. That's not finality. That's conditional openness. She's protecting herself while waiting to see if you'll lead with maturity and confidence. Doors left open eventually close, not out of anger, but out of self respect. Now, it's important to understand that not all silence is an invitation. When she avoids you completely, cuts off access, shows no curiosity, and her energy feels cold and final, that's closure. Masculine awareness means knowing when to act and when to walk away. Women don't want men who guess, they want men who understand. If she stays close, leaves space, and delays closure, she's waiting, not forever, but long enough to see what you'll do. Lead calmly, reach out grounded, because silence isn't always the end. Sometimes it's the test. If this video helped you understand female psychology on a deeper level, subscribe to the channel. And if you want structured guidance on attraction, communication, and masculine presence, check the link in the description. Clarity beats confusion. Awareness beats fear. Lead accordingly.